Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's about 9:30, October 9th, 2021, and a pretty gloomy, depressing day. Overcast. At least it wasn't raining, but cloudy skies and just a pretty dreary day. We had little peaks of sun here and there, but this is pretty much what your sky was through the day, just cloudy, pretty much. And looking at the satellite, you see the clouds that have overspread the area. And that is all part of this storm system that we have. That is to our south. Let's look at the MODIS satellite as well, and you can see we're pretty socked in today with clouds. Maybe there are a few breaks of sun here and there, but pretty much a pretty solid deck of clouds, overcast skies across our area today. Let's look at the radar because we do have some light showers offshore. Yes, there is a coastal flood advisory in effect as well. So, see, here you go. Some of those light showers that are offshore might wind up moving into parts of the Jersey Shore. And then here is your storm system here. You can see some of these. These look like feeder bands. So this really looks like something that is going to be becoming a tropical storm very shortly. And the National Hurricane Center still has this area of at 50% for this, and it's about 100 miles southeast of Morehead City, North Carolina, and it is producing a broad area of gale force winds to the north and east of the center, but there is not a well-defined center. But it could be one of these hybrid type storms, subtropical type storms, because it definitely has some tropical characteristics looking at the radar there, its presentation on the radar. Let's see if this has any. It doesn't. It doesn't have a floater for it. Would have to go to the. Let's see if we can look. Well, let's just do U.S. Atlantic coast, so you get an idea of what this thing. So here is what it sort of looks like right here. You can see not very well defined, but you can definitely see convection firing up. Quite a bit of convection firing up, and it's pretty warm water offshore here as well, so plenty of energy for it to develop into something. Let's look at some of our observations across the area, because you'll notice that we do have some wind gusts now across the area. It's definitely breezy. You got these east winds. It's been cool all day. Temperatures were around 70. Now we're in the mid-60s. Dew points are in the mid-50s. A little more, a lot more humid in New Jersey. That's very interesting that the dew points are so much higher there than here. That is because that easterly flow, that easterly fetch that is coming into New Jersey is coming in across warmer water versus us. So that is probably why. You can see you got a 34-mile-an-hour wind gust at this buoy, a 32-mile-an-hour wind gust at Seagirt. So these are the kind of winds we're dealing with. A 24-mile-an-hour wind gust at JFK, it looks like. So, yeah, you're going to start seeing some of these winds that we're going to see, and that could cause some cold. Let's go to the high temperatures for the day, and you'll see it's been fairly cool across the area, upper 60s to around 70, which is close to normal, maybe slightly above, but close to normal. Let's see what New Jersey is, also around 70 around Toms River as well. So, yes, we have these coastal flood advisories in effect, and this is... we have, and this is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday, and we have it up to 1 foot of inundation above ground level expected in vulnerable areas near the waterfront and shoreline. And so there could be some minor coastal flooding, according to the National Weather Service. So it might be a little more than we think. Like I said, we're going to go and dive into the models in a minute here, but this is, again, a storm that we'll have to really keep an eye on as far as... what he could do. So let's look at the models here, and we'll start with the GFS, and we'll look at, again, we know that there's not much of a steering current, so that's what makes it hard to predict this storm. Let me go to the eastern U.S. So this is the GFS model right here, and you'll see here is your developing area of low pressure right off the Outer Banks there, and that will slowly move northeastward. Here's this high that we hoped would build down and keep this thing away, but that's not what's happening. The moisture is going to be coming up into our area tomorrow, and we're going to be dealing with a rainy day tomorrow. And the heaviest moisture does stay offshore. But still, this means a rainy day for tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, we'll finally start to ridge that high in and get this storm out of here. But tomorrow is not going to be a very nice day at all. It's going to be pretty raw and miserable. Even if it's not heavy rain, you'll have that drizzle, light rain, wind-driven, chilly. Not a very nice day at all for your day tomorrow. So let's take a closer look, and we'll see what the GFS has as far as the rainfall totals go for this storm system. You can see it's building that high down, all right? So let's look at the total accumulated rainfall, and you'll see GFS actually isn't really bringing any of the heavier rain here, but it's just going to be like a drizzle, light rain type of deal. According to the GFS, it won't be any of the heavier rain. Maybe a little bit of it gets to the Jersey Shore. All right, this is the GFS's, because the GFS has a stronger high, and that stronger high, which you can actually tell on the dew points here, you can see that that stronger high brings in the drier air quicker, and then we dry out for Monday and Tuesday, all right? However, every model is different, and if we look at the temperatures, you'll also see that it will stay cool for your day tomorrow as well. So without much sun, we'll only be in the 60s. But every model is different. So let me go back to the precipitation, and we will go now to the NAM model, and I will use the NAM 3. All right, this is the 18Z NAM 3. All right, so every model is different. Remember that. So here's, again, some of that really intense convection offshore. And the NAM, it keeps it very, it keeps it very close to us, but it just, some of it gets into the area, and it's much slower, too, with getting it out. So the movement of the storm on the NAM is much slower, and it does bring some of the heavier rain here later on, although it keeps a good part of Sunday just in light rain. All right. And again, I don't see too much tightness with the isobars, so winds probably wouldn't be that bad. But let's go look at the total accumulated precipitation here on the NAM. You can see it's a little more. Some areas could get close between a half an inch and 1 inch. All right. Let's go back now and look at the HRRR, which hopefully we've got a good amount in, and we do, which is good. This is the next one. This is an important one that we got to go over. So this is the HRRR. Continues to show more of an intense scenario here with the pressure gradient and more of the heavier rain. But still, it's not really bringing the heavier rain in. It's bringing some steady rain in. Still going to be a rainy day, but the heavy rain, again, it's agreeing with the GFS that it gets cut off and the system kind of gets pushed away as this high kind of tries to build in for your Monday. All right. So, again, if you look at the HRRR, you see it's really backed off on the heavier rain. So, probably not going to be a soaker of a day right now. This is what it's indicating right now, but it's just going to be miserable with light rain and drizzle with that easterly wind. It's not going to be too nice out there. So we've got to kind of come to a consensus here on what's going to happen for tomorrow. All right. Let's look at the dew points again, which is kind of important. I like using this because it kind of shows where the winds are coming from as well, and you can see where the moisture is coming from. It'll definitely be a little damp tomorrow. And you can see that drying comes in by Monday, and the dew points go back into the 50s. But this kind of shows the wind direction, which is what I like. And if we look at the wind speeds, you can see some of those wind speeds. But it's definitely, you can see, look what happens, though, with that tight gradient tomorrow night. Some of these strong winds are offshore, and that will have to be watched for the possibility of coastal flooding. So once we get past this, what is going to happen with our skies, and when are we going to see the sun again? Well, we'll take a brief look at that. Let me go back to the GFS here and look at the skies here on this. We might have a chance of seeing some sunshine on Monday, more likely on Tuesday, but it still has a fairly socked in with a lot of clouds on the GFS. It won't be until maybe Wednesday that we start seeing some sunshine again. We could look at the NAM, which we could do the 18Z NAM for that. Obviously, we're socked in tomorrow, and Monday, it really keeps us fairly socked in as well with the clouds. We can also look at the RGEM as well. Again, because there's nothing to move the storm around, so we're going to kind of like be stuck in these clouds for a while. Maybe we can get out of it on Tuesday. Start seeing some sun maybe, but probably more likely on Wednesday. So unfortunately, we're entering a cloudy, dreary, gloomy stretch. Even once the storm is gone, the clouds are going to linger, and this is again because we don't have a jet stream to move anything out of the way. If we look at the eastern U.S. and we show you, let me go back to GFS here and show you the upper air here. You see there's no jet stream here. You see there's this sort of almost like a cut-off trough here, but there's no jet stream here to really move it away. So it kind of just sits there. And you can see there's no jet stream here. So without a jet stream, it's just going to sit here. And it's not going to go anywhere. And we're going to be struggling to clear it out and get some sunshine in here. And so we're going to be dealing with some gloomy weather, unfortunately. Let me just look at Ventu Sky and Windy. Ventu Sky for the wind gusts for your day tomorrow. This again uses the HRRR, and you can see there could be some stronger wind gusts off to the south here. Let's go a little more toward the afternoon here. 3, 4. You might see some wind gusts up to 35. So it's just going to be just a, even if the rain isn't heavy, it's going to be wind driven, and it's not going to be pleasant to be out in. And again, with these wind gusts, there could be some minor coastal flooding. You can see offshore, though, there's some stronger wind gusts here. Closer to that storm system here, 50 plus perhaps. They stay mostly offshore, but that could still have an effect on some coastal flooding. It's like some of it might get to the south shore and the east end by 11 o'clock later tomorrow night. So we will have to watch this as well. So I guess that's going to bring this. We can look at windy.com, which is another model, the European model, and we can use that one as well and see if that one's showing anything for tomorrow. And yeah, European's definitely being a little more amplified here. You can see it's got some stronger wind gusts offshore. But it keeps them offshore. So as that high builds in, it kind of keeps that tight area. But still, in that tight area, there could be some strong winds. And that's what's going to stir up the surf a little bit. And you can see here, using this model, this is Monday, we have some fairly big waves coming in offshore. So this is what we're going to have to watch for tomorrow, too. But again, I think it's going to linger in the Monday as well with these strong waves. Because again, you can see some 10-footers out there. So it's definitely going to be rough surf. Out on the shores, and especially out in the ocean. And this is you can see how it's kind of just you have to wait for it to fade away. If you look at the clouds here, you see European tries to break us out into a little bit of sun maybe on Monday, but tomorrow, forget it, we are socked in. But it does keep a lot of the heavier rain to the south. So if that happens, we might luck out. We'll have to see. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen. But right now, it looks like we're out of the woods for the really heavy rain. But it still could be dealing with light rain and drizzle. It's still not going to be a very nice day to be outside, especially, there are some street fairs going on. And I don't know if they're going to be canceled or not. But it's generally not going to be great weather. However, if you look at the European, it does have some drying to the north. So, like I said, the model's still having trouble agreeing on this storm, and we're really not going to know until tomorrow comes. But I think right now we're avoiding, as far as the heavy rain goes, I think it's looking less and less likely we're going to see a heavy rain event, but it's still going to be a pretty nasty kind of rainy day, light rain kind of day, though it may not be heavy rain. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Take care, and thanks for watching.